Hey friends, today we are going to be talking about color theory by creating a color wheel. So a lot of times we see a rainbow in a straight line, but a color wheel is putting the colors in a circle. And we have to put them in a specific order, rainbow colors, to show how the colors relate to each other. And I have the names over these little slices of my wheel, and I'm going to tell you what those mean. So this word says primary. Primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. So when you get your paper, you know that those three slices need to be colored red, yellow, and blue. And the spaces in between those colors are where you need to put specific other colors. So what I mean is, we have our primaries. The next thing we're going to talk about is secondary colors. Secondary colors are what you get if you mix two primary colors. So red and blue make purple or violet. So we would put purple in between the red and the blue. Same thing, yellow and blue mix together to make green. So green would go in this secondary box. Last secondary we have is when we mix red and yellow, which is orange. Then our last one is a word called tertiary. Tertiary means a third level. Primary is first level, secondary is second level, tertiary is third level. And tertiary colors are what you get when you mix a primary and a secondary color. So we're finding the color that's in between yellow and orange, which it even tells us on the crayon it's yellow-orange. Congratulations, you found your tertiary color. The cool thing about Crayola crayons is that they say the colors on them and it tells you where it goes. So this one says red-orange, which tells me it's the tertiary color in between red and orange. So as you're doing your color wheel, if it helps you to put your crayon where you know you're going to need to color it, that's helpful. Or you can just make sure you read your crayons. So if I pick up a random crayon and I see that it says blue-green, that means I'm going to put it in between this green and this blue. And when you color in, I want you to be able to be happy with your work, but make sure we can see the difference in your colors. So this one I pressed really hard. I made the colors super bright. You can see the difference between the primaries and the tertiaries. Here, I colored a lot lighter, and sometimes it's a little hard to see the difference between our colors. So if you don't like pressing hard and you want to press a little bit softer, make sure we can still see the differences between all of our colors. We don't want 3 blocks to look like the same orange. Then that doesn't help us very much. It's not showing us the difference in the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary colors. So when you get your paper, make sure that you put your crayons where you can reach them. Put them on the color wheel if that helps you. Make sure you look at the names. If you need help reading them or finding them, just let me know. And let's get started. When you are ready to color, you got to make sure you're finding the correct crayons and putting them in the right spot. In our primary sections, we're putting our just plain red, our just plain yellow, and our just plain blue in those primary spots on our color wheel. Then we're going to work on our secondary. So between red and blue, we need purple. Find the crayon that says violet purple, color it in that secondary spot between the red and the blue. Same for between the blue and the yellow, we have green in that secondary spot. And between yellow and red, we have our just plain orange in that secondary spot. Now here comes a fun part where we need to find the tertiaries. So between red and orange, surprise, it's called red-orange. So find that crayon, color it in the tertiary spot in between red and orange. And you'll do that for all of your tertiary colors. Look for what it needs to be between. Between yellow and orange is called yellow-orange. Between yellow and green is called yellow-green. In between green and blue is called blue-green. And here's where it gets a little bit tricky because between blue and violet, there are two crayons that look very similar, but one of them says just plain violet purple, and the other one says blue violet. So the blue violet is like our indigo color, and that's what you're going to color in the tertiary spot between blue and violet. You're using the blue violet crayon. Our last one is going to be in between that violet and the red. Surprise, it's called red violet. Color it in. When you're done, write your name and you're good to go.